going on, everybody? Welcome to podcast episode 41. I'm going to be joined today by Will Hopkins, founder of Blackbox Logistics and co-host of Two Dogs, One Pod. Let's get right into it. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, bro. Good. Listen, we're going to try to fly through this one today. I appreciate you joining the show. I want to get straight into it. How did you get into logistics?
Man, so I really stumbled into it. So when I took my first interview in logistics, I thought that it was a finance-related gig. I was living in Birmingham, and I had a friend who ran a freight brokerage, and I knew some other people over there, but I didn't know much about it. And I was kind of in between. I've just been working a bunch of odd jobs, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, right? And he was like, come by the office, talk to me. I said, cool. I didn't even really know it was an interview. I was just going over there to talk to him.
Just to chill with your buddy there.
Yeah, I was just like going to say, hey to all the boys, you know. And then like halfway through, we were talking or whatnot. And he's like, why don't you give it a shot? And again, I thought it was finance, but I was like, why not? I don't have much else like going on, right? So whatever. Then like 3 days in, I fell in love with it. It's just like, this is what I'll do forever. And here we are. That was about 7 years ago. So yeah, man, it just like one of those things, right? Like I just knew a guy who was running a brokerage, 18 years old, took a job, and then just kind of ran with it.
Yeah, I feel like I had like the similar thing, man, where I walked in like day 1 or 2, and it was just like a bunch of people smoking cigarettes on the balcony and like swearing and stuff. And I was like, this doesn't really seem like an office job, so I'm kind of down. And then like after like the first 3 days, I was like, I'll probably do this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, man, to be honest with you, I was just like, I'll kick it here. Like I like everybody. Like it seems like a fun environment. And it was like a really casual office. You hear some like freight brokerage stereotypes, and it was pretty loosely run, which is, it had its pros and cons, right? But for like an 18-year-old kid, just like getting into the real workforce, like it was super attractive. Like people were like streaming like Russian hockey at 10 a.m., like gambling on games. It's just crazy. So I was like, hell yeah, man! Like, sign me up.
Yeah, in our industry, streaming Russian hockey as a talking point to the drivers you probably deal with throughout the day, it's like it makes sense in our industry to do stuff like that.
Yeah, man, the guys, they just compete, and if that meant, streaming Russian hockey and throwing out live darts, live bets at 9 a.m. on a Tuesday, then like I guess that's what it was.
Yeah, it is what it is. What was that brokerage? What did you start doing? Were you just kind of doing carrier sales or what?
No, so I got started as a cradle to grave broker. It was a Roadrunner agency. It was their brokerage arm was Sync Global, and it was a little agency called KLG. They're now KTB Global. They got away from the agency model. It's a great group. I'm still really close with a lot of those guys, the owners, and I'm forever grateful for them, right, for introducing me to logistics. Learned a lot from them, and I'm still in touch with them and still consider them good friends of mine.
Yeah, honestly, bro, my friend group out here is literally just people I met in logistics. Like, I swear to everybody I talk to, I just met in logistics through different companies. You stay friends with them. And you never really know where it's going to take you down the road, right? Because my team now consists of a lot of guys and girls that I worked with 4 years ago. So, logistics definitely a relationship game, even in that sense of like your ex-coworkers. And most people are cool anyways. It's like easy to keep in touch with people like that.
Yeah, 100%, man. It seems like one of those, it's such a big industry, right? But at the same time, it's such a small industry. It's like, it feels like almost every week I'm running into somebody, whether it just be some email chain or something, where I'm like, hey, like I know them from one way or another. So it's been really cool. Kind of seems like everything builds on itself, right? So I'm super, super glad that I stumbled into it and that I went and worked over there when I did.
Yeah, I don't think anybody has that story, man. I say it all the time of like being a 6-year-old kid and be like, I'm going to be a freight broker when I grow up, or I'm going to be a truck driver. Like, it doesn't really happen like that, right?
Yeah. Like third grade, they asked you, everybody wants to be athletes. We're not. That one kid, he's like, dude, I want to sleep great.
Yeah, I'm going to just like down Zins and coffee, man, and just quote freight all day. Like, you're just in like the 5th grade. But take us through your start in logistics. What kind of customers were you dealing with? How long did it take you to get your first customer, and how did that kind of go?
Man, it didn't take me long to get started. I received minimal training. It's funny. My business partner today, a guy named Logan Dyer, he trained me at that office, and he was one of my friends that I had known, right? And so again, it was like a loosely run operation at the time, and he was in charge of training me. So they gave me a big binder. He's like, all right, read this. And he's really busy. Like he's like the big dog over there. Like he's got like this huge book of business. And they're just like, oh, like, but we'll get him to train because like he's good at this, right? But he's way too busy, like overworked. And I'm just this 18-year-old like kid, kind of shy, man, because everybody's like old, man. Everybody's like 30. I'm like the youngest by a decade over there with my little binder. And he's like, all right, like, do you have any questions? And I was like, well, yeah. And then next thing you know, he's got like 2 headsets on, and then he just like points at it's not set up. He's like, go, like put it together, and like there's your computer. So man, like I hit the ground running. Like a lot of it, I just kind of figured out. I mean, I had resources, right? Like I could ask the people around me, like, hey, what is this? But I didn't go through any like big, lengthy, formal training. It was kind of like I was thrown in the deep end, right? And my personality type, I was able to. Man, I kind of loved it. You know, like people shit on minimal training, and here at Blackbox, we do have intense training, and we take pride in it, right? But for me, like my personality type, like it was good for me because I'm very comfortable. Like if I don't know something, like I'll go like ask somebody or I figure it out on Google or just like run with it. And I got my first load, like my second day. It was a reefer load. It was my first and last reefer load ever to this day. It was, dude, that's crazy. Like I don't know why this guy gave me the load. Like looking back and I was like, man, he must have been new too. Like to give me this. Like I had no idea what I'm talking about. But it was like a 3-pick US, 2-drop Canada, like Arizona.
And it was cross border on top of being reefer.
It was cross border, and the worst part is I got the tender at like 3:30, and everybody leaves at 4. So like by the time I finally have all the information, pretty much everybody's gone except the GM. And he's like another one of those guys that's just so busy, man, has so much going on, like big book. So he's not really like helping me. So yeah, long story short, like it picked up and delivered fine, but like it didn't go smooth, and the guy didn't give me another load, right? Because again, I mean, just to be frank, like I didn't know what I was doing. I did the best I could with like what I had, right? But yeah, it was a pretty bad experience with the reefer load. I was like, I don't know if like I'm built for this reefer stuff.
I'll give you a funny story that's along the similar lines on touching on the minimal training thing. I know, yeah, it's like talked bad about in this industry, but like when I started, I also just kind of like sat at a desk and got like 2 trucks, and they're like, hey, just book a load. And I mean, I know it's not like how you should operate companies and stuff, but like also I didn't mind it either, man. I like that kind of stuff. But
yeah,
along the similar lines as you, the first load I ever booked, because obviously I didn't know anything about anything at that point. I booked the guy a load from somewhere to Florida, and it was furniture, and they took like 8 hours to unload him by hand, and the guy lost his next day of work. So that was my first load.
Yeah, that's tough. That's another thing that was never really explained to me. And we try to make it a point here, especially with our cradle to grave breakers, that like it's a lot, man. It's a lot to learn. Like to this day, I'm still learning things daily, right? Like there's situations, man. People come ask me a question, and I was like, I don't know. Like I'll go find out, right? But, like I don't have the magic. Like I'm a human being, man. Like I don't know everything, right? And there's just so much information. But the way that I was kind of sold on the job, it wasn't even an interview, man. They're basically just like, yeah, come here, man. It's like printing money. You know, like we're selling trucks. It's super easy.
Like boiler room-esque. Like you're gonna make $1 million for your first year here.
You make $1 million. You bet on Russian hockey. Like do whatever you want. I was like, yeah, dude. Like, well, why isn't everybody doing this?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, but it's like
I mean, to this day, I wonder to myself sometimes too. I was talking to some friends from Canada and stuff, and I always think to myself, like, why does everybody do this job? I know why not everybody does this job, because it's like a huge commitment, and if you want to excel at it, like you got to like always be available. Like there's like a lot that goes into it, but at the same time, like the amount of money that flows through this industry to the brokers, carriers, like there's just money there if you want to make it, and it's not one of those things like no brokerage will be like, oh, actually you need 4 years college or like university to work. Like it's not like that. So
yeah, man,
I wonder the same.
Yeah, no, I mean that's how I feel about it. And that's what, man. I had a conversation today with our GM. He kind of came in. We were both just frustrated, you know, like things going on, and we were sitting here. It's like, well, we don't do this because it's easy, right? Like we don't.
Yeah.
You know, like it is challenging. It's a tough industry, especially being a broker, like a middleman. You're kind of like caught in between a rock and a hard place. Sometimes things that aren't necessarily your fault, right? But you have to take responsibility for, because you know a driver might be an extension of you. Like you're arguably the most important role of a broker, right? Is sourcing the carriers. Like who you send in is you. So like sometimes, man, you get screwed over, right? And you have to accept that, whether it's because you might not have done anything wrong per se. Like you might just be in a bad situation. It just happens. Like rolling with it, having thick skin or being able to I don't know, I see a lot, like, if somebody has a bad situation, it'll just ruin their day. Like, they'll just be sad in their feels all
I
day,
mean,
you know?
honestly, man, when I was on the dispatch side, I had the same feelings of being like in between everybody and taking the blame for a lot of things. But I took solace in the fact that like me and my drivers could at least like mutually hate who screwed us over together. So like I was still kind of had like a teammate, you know?
Yeah,
And
it makes
since I
sense.
came over to brokerage, I realized because most carriers and drivers, they're like, oh, the broker sucks. The broker screwed everything up. And since I came into brokerage, like, yo, customers make a lot of mistakes too, bro. Like, it's not the
Yeah.
broker's fault most of the time. So.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Those can be tricky waters to navigate, right? Because you want to retain the customer at the same time. You want to be good to carriers, right? Like we need carriers.
Yeah.
That's all my people like. We want carriers to want to book with us. Like when and if and when they see our load, we want them to be like, oh, like I like them. Like I'm gonna
Yeah.
really
The best feeling as a dispatcher when you see like a load come out from a broker, you're like, oh, I love those guys. Like you want to call them, you know, like
exactly, man. And sometimes, but yeah, like you alluding to, right? Like sometimes you get a less than ideal customer and you're kind of put in a situation where it's like maybe you have to carry some weight on it. You might have to take a loss to make things right. That's why I think it's so important to have a long time perspective with all this stuff. Like what goes around comes around. So just long term on all of it.
yeah, I mean, people need to be more understanding. And even, I mean, I was guilty of it, bro. Like, I'm honestly like very thankful that I came into brokerage and I've been able to see more of the industry and more sides of it because it's just expanded my like ability to like care about things, my ability to see the bigger picture, not tunnel vision into problems. And, I have like a more open mind of the industry since I'm seeing more of it. But I mean, take us through what happened since you left that company. I mean, did you go straight to Blackbox? Was there a middle step?
Yeah, I'll run you through it. Actually, I'm about to get into it, but we're aligned there. So I guess I'll walk you through it and you'll see. But that was my experience with the inverse, right? I went from broker to dispatcher. And I always tell people I feel like that experience kind of like opened me up to like these perspectives I just never had, right? So then going back to the brokerage, I feel like I have a better view of everything and like how to handle things. And I think that was the best thing I ever
Yeah,
did.
how to talk to the other person. Like when you're on both sides of the coin, you really realize like how to treat people. Like once you've been in both of the shoes, you understand the situations more.
Yeah, man. And then I even think like a step beyond that, like there's a difference in maybe like understanding what something means, like if a driver's laid over and then, actually like being a part of it. Right. So it's like, yeah, from a broker's standpoint early on, like I could conceptualize like, yeah, like this sucks, man. Like it's unfortunate. And then being on the dispatch side, it's like, man, like it's like a big deal. Like their business.
Yeah, it's a huge loss of revenue, bro. Like,
for sure. So, but I'll run you through. So I was at that brokerage for about a year. And I got really lucky. I feel so grateful today. But about 6 months in, I moved into a house with my two business partners today, and they're both working at the brokerage. And after a while, man, again, I have nothing but respect for the people that run that company. But at the time, there wasn't a lot of. It just seemed like there was a lot of opportunity, right? Like it was kind of stagnant where we were, and we just wanted more, right? We saw a better way to do things, and we wanted to do our own thing. So after a year for me, and they were there a little bit longer, we left, and we were under some contracts. And I'm just going to speak on this really quickly because it's a hot topic, right? My stance on the contracts in that situation, and this is just me personally, we didn't explore trying to get around them or break them because the way that I saw and the way that I felt about it is that, I was this 18-year-old kid kind of lost, and they like brought me in and like showed me all this stuff and like gave me the tools to be successful for a lifetime. So if I need to sacrifice a year to respect that in them, I was more than happy to do it. Even if I could have gotten around it, it felt like for me to be okay with like myself and like how I'm operating, we want to do things the right way. We didn't want to burn bridges. So we waited it out. But
I mean, honestly, bro, I remember that's the one thing for anybody that watches this back. I mean, I know a lot of Will's story. I did interview him once already, but I just wanted to treat this as something fresh for anybody that would watch it back. You're the only person that I've really ever heard explain it in that sense. And I thought about it ever since I interviewed you, like however long ago that was, where it's like, like you kind of go into something with no experience, you learn a whole bunch of stuff. And then, like you said, you're set up for a life of, a successful life. And if you have to sit out a year or two, I mean, you can explore some other options, hopefully stay in the industry in some capacity. And once it expires, then, you're off to the races. So I kind of agree with that outlook on it. Not that, I mean, it is a hot topic, but that is the best way to look at it if you're in that unfortunate situation.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't want to minimize anybody's experience with that, right? Because I mean, like obviously, like, I know a lot of people that have had bad experiences, but that's just me, my experience, and my story, right? And how like I've always how I felt about it in the moment, like being in those shoes, right? But anyway, we uh, we started a dispatching company because we couldn't broker, but we could be involved in the industry. And I was thinking about it, and I was like, I don't want to like, go deliver pizzas or something, I want to stay in touch, like, man, I didn't have these skills, like 19 years old.
Become a professional Russian hockey better, bro.
Yeah, I was like, man, I need to like do something that's gonna like help me moving forward, something that can like build off this experience and like set us up for, like it just made more sense, right? Like we can grow as professionals by doing this, get some experience like running a business, even though it's not the brokerage, it's not the end goal. We hadn't run a business, right? So we got everything set up, did that, dispatching a lot of owner operators, small fleets. Once the year came to a close, we started Blackbox. And
Just 1 second, just because I swear you told me this, but I can't remember. And for anybody else watching, because I mean, I get DMs, bro, like at least every week where it's like, yo, how do I start a dispatch company? And like, honestly, I'm kind of glad that I'm not on the dispatch side anymore because it was a lot more frequent then. But how did you guys go about getting like owner ops as customers? Because that's like always the tough. I mean, it's the same thing on brokerage, getting customers is tough, but the dispatch like thing is kind of really it's a tough sell, especially these days with how many bad ones are out there.
Yeah, 100%. So I think, man, like when considering like not any sales, but it's always important to consider like where's my pipeline going to come from. So what we did is one, we had some existing relationships with maybe some owner operators, small fleets, and we reached out to them. But that was a small portion of our book, like our carriers. And the way that we got new ones was we talked to factoring companies. Man, these factoring companies, yeah. So we set up a referral line. So essentially, you sell the factoring company first. You display that you know what you're doing and talk about. I mean, a lot of the people that go get their own numbers, or maybe first time being an owner operator, they don't know, they might not have the skill set necessarily to like book the loads, do them, like keep everything clean. So we basically sell them on the fact that we'll drive revenue, keep everything clean, and if and when you encounter a owner operator, maybe even a small fleet, man, maybe it's gotten too much and they don't want to do it and they're not comfortable hiring somebody. So you have like a shell dispatcher almost. So we sell them on that. We get the factoring company to refer the drivers to us. And then we tell the factoring company that we'll send drivers to them. We didn't really have any drivers to send to them, right? But it's one of those.
Hey, man, I heard a good quote yesterday, man, where the guy was like, it's a fine line between a businessman and a criminal, bro.
That's great. That's a crazy thing to say, but no, I mean, we did good work. It makes sense. Like what we're selling the factoring company on, it's not bullshit, right? Like we did.
Really no, I'm joking. Like the analogy doesn't really fit for the situation, but it still made me laugh because there is always a fine line between like running a business. Like, I mean, you gotta kind of, make things work sometimes.
Yeah, no, 100%. But yeah, I mean, that's how we built our drivers. And as far as, man, you don't need, so it's really not that hard. And the way that we discovered all this, man, I would love to sit here and say that, like, yeah, I just thought of this, right? Like that I came up with this factoring thing. But I knew a guy who had done the dispatching company. I took him out to dinner. Just like, hey, man, like I'm interested in doing this. So like that's how I try to go about a lot of things, like with the brokerage or just like in life. Like if there's something I want to do, like I try to seek out somebody that has a demonstrated history of doing it and doing it well. And like being mindful of that and like reaching out and just being candid, just like, hey, like I like want some help. I want to pick your brain. But he kind of like gave us the blueprint almost, and then we just
the secret sauce on it. I mean, I don't mind helping people out, but it's only like when they're genuine. Like when people are like, hey, can you tell me how to do this exactly? And it's like, yeah, like maybe you could be like, hey, how are you doing? Like, ease your way into it.
Yeah.
Not just, but anyways, let's get away from that.
I was friends with the guy too, so it wasn't just like so. Like, yeah, I had known. So, I'll say, man, like people, like I consider myself pretty helpful as well. But like I'm very busy. Like I have a lot going on. So like, I get these LinkedIn DMs from this new broker who's like, hey, like like ask me this broad concept. And it's like, man, I wish you the best. Like I can't sit here and just like go back and forth with you. Like I have like 40 employees. Like I'm already doing it with, and I've got like my own life. And it's like, man, like I appreciate you reaching out. Like I can't respond.
I want to help you, but bro, I got like 5 minutes, not 5 hours. But all right, let's go through the Blackbox story, man. I mean, So you guys served your time, you guys got through your stuff, and then you were free to open it. Is that kind of what happened?
Yeah, served your time like that.
Served your time, bro. Because you waited it out, you served the time, and
Yeah,
now
we
you're
served
good
the
to
time,
go.
man. We served it, and we served it in good spirit. So we started Blackbox out of my partner William's house. It's the house that we were all living in, right? So, which we were dispatching trucks. We started the brokerage, and
You guys have all your desks in like the living room, like just in like one room.
do you want a tour? We could do a tour in a minute. I'd take you around.
No, I'm saying at the house, like when you guys were working out of the house.
No, so we were like in this like living room type thing, and there was like Logan and I sat next to each other, and William was in the back end. But then, man, it got to summer, and we didn't have a lot of money, and the AC went out. It was really hot. And I was just pissed off all the time. So I'm just working out of my bedroom in the back. So I just like, this is too much. Like, this sucks.
Yeah, just breathing on each other. But all right, man. So you guys started out Blackbox in the house. That was like the inception of it.
Yeah, the inception. We ended up hiring our first employee, who was one of my partner's brothers, and then we hired one of my best friends from childhood. At that point, there was 5 of us working out of the house, and then we got busier, and we needed to add more people. But it's like we can't, we're working out of the house. We can't scale in here, so we got our first office space. But man, like really, that's how it was. We had them like pulling up to the house, like getting out. We had like folding table computers. We had like the house was just the office.
Yeah, the house was just an office with that managed to have beds in it somewhere to sleep. Like,
yeah, 100%.
I mean, what kind of freight were you guys doing though? Was it like mostly dry van at that point?
No, so man, we still are very heavy in flatbed. Just open deck. I say flatbed, right? But like hot shot, step deck, RGNs, low boys, raw materials, a lot of steel, aluminum, coils, that sort of stuff. We do it. I'll say this: we do it. We do it all. But that's our. If you want to say we have a specialty.
Yeah, I mean, every broker and brokers that I talk to, I mean, when I ask that question, people are like, "Oh, but we also do it all." I'm like, "Yeah, like you're not gonna say no to customers, and I mean, it's not like you're gonna not know how to do other things.
Yeah.
It's more what do you specialize in? It's not what you're only doing." So.
We specialize in open deck, and we do a lot of oversized work. At the same time, we have some cradle to grave brokers who might be reefer heavy, right? But that's
doing whatever they manage to do with their
money. If they come ask me a question about reefer for that time, I can't help you.
Well, yo, I ran one load. I did a bad job. I never did it again. Oh.
And we hired, hell, I don't know, man. It started out 5 of us, right? Then we got up to 12 or 13 within like a year from there, ran out of space. And we got moved into another office, and it's been a reoccurring theme for us, which is a good thing. We get some office space. We're like, man, we'll be here for like 5 years. So much room for activities. And then like a year, 18 months later, it's everybody's on top of each other. So we just moved again to 15,000 square feet downtown Birmingham. It's it's a beautiful office. We're pumped about it. Been trying to get in for 6 months. One of those things where we locked down the lease, but you had some construction, renovations, delayed, and over budget, of course, man. So tangent, construction companies, man, that shit's crazy. You quote out a job, all of them. They quote out a job, man. They're always over budget and late. So it's like, all right, I'm just gonna tell you I'll do it for this price. Then I'm gonna get started, and then you can't say like, oh no, like quit working on it. So then they work on it like way longer, and then it costs like 2 to 3 times as much. It's just like, what do I do? It's like, yeah, thanks. Like you did a great job.
Construction companies are like exactly those situations when you get like one of those like dodgy carriers, and then they're like, you're like, oh, I'll give you, like a $300-400 layover. I know I'm screwing you guys over on this. Like you're trying to be nice to them. They're like, no, like I need $2,000 layover, or I'm gonna like take your freight hostage. That's like exactly how construction workers are, man. Yeah, like, I could do it for $5,000, $10,000, $15,000. Like it just never ends up being what it is.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, but they did do an excellent job. But the place looks great.
Let's go through it, man. Let's go do the tour. Your internet's back. It's clean. Let's go see what the office is. I mean, I saw some of it here and there through LinkedIn, but
yeah. So
I mean,
we gotta.
This is the new Blackbox operation, man.
Hey, we're mobile. We're live and we're mobile. This is crazy. All right, so that's my office. Hold on. Just gotta flip my camera.
We're live and we're mobile.
We're live. We're mobile. Let me get to the back end so I can take y'all through the whole thing. Team 2 still here. This is my ops team. We're on a live stream. He's supposed to be going
I
back.
like, I like that you guys are still working at 436 Central. Bro.
So this is just open space right now, right?
There you go. There's your room for activities and your room to grow, man.
And then we got over here is kind of like a lounge area, table stuff.
This is where the Russian sports betting happens.
No, man, we don't do that here.
Well,
this is where our teams are. So, like, we're a split model. We've got Cradle to Graves and teams. So this is my team right here, SEAL Team 2, getting after it.
SEAL Team 2.
I don't think things are going great if they're all still here. They get off at 4. So that might not be great.
Hey, well, it's better that they stay and finish it, man. I always say 10 minutes, 20 minutes today is better than 2 hours tomorrow.
Oh yeah, man, I'm very blessed. It's a hell of an operations team. So we got some like phone booths here. Somebody needs to take a private call or a meeting. 3 of those.
Just to go in there and scream when something goes bad and nobody can hear you.
Yeah, man, I'll be walking by sometimes. Somebody had the door closed, lights off. You're just like, give them the space. Little lounge area right here.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and this is all of our cradle to grave setups.
Dope.
And we got.
Are you guys exclusively in the office for cradle to grave, or they can work from home if they want?
All in office.
Yeah, I mean, when you got a nice office like that, man, you might as well use it.
We got some. We got offshore, so we've got a few people in Serbia and the Philippines. Man, this is my favorite part. This wall art. We had
I saw this. I didn't see the finished product. I just saw the guy painting it.
My head out of it. Kind of crazy with the laptop inverse walking around, getting the angles, but. Just wall
hey, you
art.
got to link me up with your Serbian team, man. I got to go have lunch with them one day.
Yeah, 100%, man. I love them.
Also, we got Dylan asking W2 or 1099. I'm sure you might have a mix of that.
W2 or 1099. Hey, well, I appreciate it, Dylan. Here's the conference room. Little TVs there.
Yeah, is that double TVs? I saw that from the post.
Yeah, I would. I'd take y'all to the roof, but I don't know if I can climb.
What was the purpose of putting 2 TVs there? Was it to have like I still can't figure it out.
Dude, I don't know. Look,
just to run two separate meetings in the same. I don't know. I couldn't figure that one out.
I don't know, man. It's linked to computer sites.
It just looks cool.
Yeah, it looks cool, but also, yeah, it's extra, right? Like it's extra, but it's linked. It's linked to a computer, so it's similar to like dual monitors, like I've got. So you can, if you want like 2 things on, you can do it.
Yeah, that space in between your monitors would just I would never be able to stop looking at the dead space, bro.
Well, I don't work like that. I was on the stream.
Thank God. Can you move them so they touch, bro? If the monitors aren't touching, bro, it drives me crazy.
Yeah, no, I can move them. The desk goes up and down, all that good stuff. But yeah, that's
so Blackbox is killing it, man. It looks nice, man. The office looks great.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
I want to. I mean, is there any last things about Blackbox? Actually, that was one. I had one last question. You guys are Birmingham based, right?
Mm-hmm. Birmingham, Alabama.
How's the freight scene down there, man? Because I knew a lot of brokers that were from there, and I mean, the freight was always good there. I mean, how's the logistics scene in Birmingham these days? Yeah,
man. So they call Birmingham. So Hammer's Pittsburgh, right? They call Birmingham the Pittsburgh of the South. They do, and they also call it the Magic City. So I mean. But no, it's great, man. There's a lot of steel here. It's like where our office is pretty industrial. There's a lot of freight and there's a lot of freight brokerages. So it's also, man, Central Time Zone is really good for brokers, right?
Yeah, I like Central Time more than Eastern Time, to be honest.
Yeah, and but yeah, Birmingham is a great spot. There's a lot of brokerages. It's kind of central to a lot of things, and we've got a lot of local customers, which is nice, man. We can just. I mean, I could be at a few of our customers. I could catch a light jog and be at their office within a few minutes.
Yeah, Birmingham seems cool. I mean, with the office that size, I'm sure you guys aren't struggling, to find talent down there. And like I said, when I was dispatcher, man, Birmingham was always pretty sweet. I mean, like if you weren't getting the best freight out of there, you're always getting like something decent. You could always get out of there. So
yeah, and we got 10 starting on 10/14. I say 10. I think 8. We're onboarding 8 more people. So, yeah, I mean, the plan looking forward is just fill out the office, continue expanding, getting our operations a bit more sophisticated and efficient. But things have been good. We've been growing despite the
despite the market conditions. I mean, so have we. And I mean, I don't know, man. If you want to work You can make money in any market, right? And saying just sitting there being mad about it, it's not really gonna improve your situation. So come into it with an open mind, and I mean, there's money out there still for sure.
Yeah, man, Hammer's a good. You guys have a good operation, good organization. I really like Ben. Ben came down to see me in Birmingham a few months ago. I'm trying to get him back down for our office opening. I've invited him, so hopefully he can make it.
Honestly, man, Ben, I can't say enough good things about Hammer. I can't say enough good things about, and I mean, I made a post the other day where it's like I didn't even think I'd ever be in the broker side of things, and I don't know if I ever would if it wasn't for Ben and Hammer, right? So I mean, I'm happy here, and definitely it's well put together. But getting away from these kind of more serious topics, I want to go through your craziest logistics story.
No.
I mean, what do you got for me, man?
Okay, so I'll tell you one that is not directly mine, but it's somebody I'm very close to and work with. And I guess I got to be kind of careful with the wording. Long story short, we were running. I say we. I mean, I was kind of a part of it. It wasn't my deal though. We were running some government loads, and it was during a disaster. We kind of have been giving a whole bunch to this company. They've been doing a great job, and then one day we got a call. I say we. The guy that I was working with got a call from like the Bureau of Investigations for a certain state. I was like, dude, he had such a FBI name too. It was like, hey, like this is Bill Brady, like North Carolina. They're just like, it's like, man, you know.
I had an FBI name.
But you know, he called him. And he's like, hey, like you're running these loads for like this organization. Like we have an issue. One of the trailers was wrecked, and then, or like one of the trailers is wrecked, and we're like, okay, like that, or something else, like one's missing. Whatever, we give them all the information. Like later they call, and it turns out one of the drivers had man, he was pulling their trailer, and he had tried to turn around. He didn't try. He turned around in a yard and just rutted it, right? You know, like the homeowner came out, and they were real upset, yelling at him. Turns out it was an off-duty police officer. The driver got road rage, shot the guy who came out in the face. Guy lived, but he shot him in the face. Yeah, like pulled a pistol out the window, like shot him in the face, and kept driving. Turned out to be like a huge chase. Turned out to be a huge chase, and they end up like catching up with them, and they spike a road, right? And the guy ends up like flipping his truck and trailer into like a peanut field. And the company I was working for ended up having to buy the trailer. And then so we're at the office. We're at the office one day, and somebody pulls up with this. Oh man, this trailer's like fucked up. Like it's just out in the parking lot. Yeah, they had to buy it. The dude that the incident happened with, he's in prison. Again, the person he shot lived, but yeah, he shot an off-duty police officer right
in the face after just breaking his grass.
Yeah, well, the guy came out and like yelled at him.
Bro, you broke his grass. You drove on his grass. Yeah. Like the guy's yelling at you. You can't just shoot him in the face, bro.
Like, when it all happened, the guy had like called the dispatcher. I was like, hey, like, I need to figure out like what's going on.
Yeah, I got a slight issue, bro.
Yeah. Like imagine, because you're just getting information from like and you don't really know what's going on, right? Like you read the broker, you're just like, this is insane, right? This is call the dispatcher, like, hey, like they're telling us that this is like possibly our driver, and the dispatcher's like, oh no, like Ronald's a good man. He's like he's 65, like he would never. And it's like, no, like Ronald shot that dude, and then the craziest thing, and then the craziest thing is. The organization ended up awarding like more loads today, and like when the guy like went to go apologize because again, I talk about those situations, right? Like this company, man, reputable company. Like there's no red flags. They're doing a great job. They've run so many loads, no issues. And then like this happens, and then you got to confront it with the organization. You're like, hey, like. Like we're sorry. Like, what do you say?
Brother, that is the craziest logistics story I've probably heard in a long time.
They gave us more loads the next day, and like when we addressed, they're like, well, man, it's just nature of the beast when you're working with.
Yeah, I mean, bro, it's not like what you didn't shoot a guy in the face, like, bro. You can vet a carrier all you want, you can't. Like nobody can expect that situation to happen.
Yeah, but still, for that to happen, there's like nature of the beast. Like when you're working with contractors, like nothing, then 10 or 20 more. And you're just like, what's going on, man?
Yeah, in trucking, bro, like the craziest shit in the world can happen. You're like, just it is what it is, bro. What's the next load? What are we at? Like,
Yeah, I mean, so we say around here, and it's like, man, it started out like as a joke kind of, but we say like it'll buff. So like if and when a car gets a scratch, sometimes you can buff it out, right? So like when
Yeah.
things go wrong, sometimes we'll say like it'll buff, and like it sounds like it's a joke, right? But at the same time, it like helps us stay like solution oriented. Like, okay, like what can we do instead of like sitting
Yeah,
here.
yeah. I've always said that, man. You can sit there and be pissed off about a situation, or you can just like, I tell a lot of people, especially people that like, I'm working with, like, who cares why, who cares when, who cares what happened, bro? Like, what are we gonna do now? How do we like move forward? Like, whatever happened already happened. It's not gonna unhappen. And like, what are we gonna do now? That's kind of
Yeah.
the right mind frame to be in logistics. But congratulations on Two Dogs One Pod. How was your entry into the podcasting scene? How's it been going for you?
Man, it's going good. So at first, Matt called me one night and I floated the idea. And actually, when I decided to do it, I was with Ben. Ben was in Birmingham, and we were out this like rooftop bar. I was just sitting there talking to him. Matt's a mutual friend. I was like, hell, I'm gonna do it. I texted Matt, decided to do it. And at first, man, it was a lot getting everything in place. But we've been very fortunate to partner with Trio Services. They do all our back end graphics. We've got some great sponsors who help us line up guests. At this point, it's pretty smooth, like clockwork, right? And I enjoy being on stream and talking logistics and freight. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it. It's turned out to be something that I take a lot of pride in and look forward to.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it's a little nerve wracking at the start, and like you got to get your stuff kind of down. You kind of got to get a feel for it. But my biggest thing with it was like I just like talking about logistics. I just enjoy, like I mean, back when I started in this industry, I just would like watch YouTube videos and this, and now it's just like one of those extra times where because you can't talk about this to like a regular person, man. Like I'll be like chilling with like somebody that doesn't work in logistics. And like you can't explain this shit to them. Like, oh yeah, my driver like almost died. He like rolled his truck and he's fine. People are like, holy Christ! Like, it's just a different thing, and you can't explain it to people. So
yeah, man, people in logistics they're just a little bit different. They
definitely built different, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, bro, take me through. This is my favorite part of the show. This is the moment I've been waiting for. Take me through the inception, thought process, and journey of the YOP movement, bro.
Dude, so man, I would love to I would love to sit here and take credit for this, but we have a very wise man in the office. We call him Diesel P. His name's Patrick. He hadn't had a haircut in like 3 years, like hair past his dude like he loves to lift weight. And he's always talking about like testosterone, like at like high T. And then he just started saying yop. Like one day I went up to him. I was like, "Hey man, like how are you doing? Like what are you working on?" He's like, "Working on some yops." I was like, "What are you talking about?" Then he explained it to me. Dude, the dude had some yops. He had some yops, and then when he booked him, it was electric. And then we all just started saying yops in the office, and it's just turned into a thing. So now I'm fully behind the yacht movement, and I'm collecting yoppers day by day, man. We're getting some momentum going behind the movement.
All right, bro. If you can have that guy film like a 30-second to 60-second video explaining how he got to that word, bro, like I would very much be interested in posting that and being a part of spreading I just need to know, like, how did he get to that point? Like, where did that word, how do you even say that word, bro? Like, that's what I'm curious about.
Nobody really knows, man.
Yeah.
But man, he'll tell you, it'll be funny too. He's hilarious. We love having him in the office. He's hadn't been with us too long, like 6 months, but he's one of those guys like lifts the room up, and yeah, he'll say some stuff that doesn't really make any sense, but it's provocative. It gets the people going. It's something
but see,
what does that even mean?
That's the thing, though. You guys explained it to me, right? Like, so in Canada, we have Yop yogurt, bro, and like it's been around for like 50 years, and they had these wild. I'll try to find you the commercial. There's like some songs like "Yup, your mama's will yup," and like that's their thing at the end, like "Yup," like. So I guess you Americans don't have Yop yogurt, bro. So that's why you don't understand why it's so funny. Like that word is like very popular. It's a brand of yogurt. Like,
yeah, man. I try to get some off. I try to get some off Amazon. I think that maybe you're the first person that had attached a picture of the Yop yogurt, or somebody did some comments that I was part of. And then so I immediately went to Amazon. I was like, man, I'm getting so many Yops for the office. I'm about to order.
Yo, it's so fire too. It's actually like the best yogurt drink. Yeah, I actually used to drink those all the time, dude.
Yeah, well, I'm sure I could get it from somewhere, right? But I searched on Amazon, it wasn't available. But yeah, maybe we're gonna have to get some yachts, and I'll get
Yeah,
that.
you're gonna have to go across the border to drink a couple, bro.
Dude, I'll do it. What do we have to do for the yacht movement?
Yeah, I'll figure it out, bro. I'll have somebody from Canada just send it over to you. I don't know how like food shipping goes, but I'm sure we could just get you could just get a truck, bro. We'll put a Sprinter van load together.
I don't do
I'll have them
reefers.
get like
As long as it has to be refrigerated, I got you. If not, we get some
it'll be winter, bro. Just tell them to leave the door open a little bit.
Yeah,
All right, man. I need 2 dating tips from you. I need advice about dating. 2 tips.
Okay, dude. First of all, this is I've been a victim of slander all week, man. I come into the office, it's damn Monday morning, like I'm responding to emails, like sipping my morning coffee. I get a notification, just slander and hate, talking about my dating advice. I didn't even give bad advice, man. I gave pretty minimal advice. But my two dating tip advice is one, don't adopt strays. And then my second is C number 1.
Oh, what the fuck does that even mean,
stay away from strays. That's the advice I gave Matt. I just said, look, man, we can't adopt strays. That's all I said.
All right. What's the second tip?
My second tip is C tip number 1. If you avoid the strays, you can figure the rest out.
All right, I got you, man. Heading into the probably worst section of this entire show. It's only funny to me these days. But eventually, like sometimes there's a banger mixed in, so I'm keeping it there. Right. What's your favorite joke?
Oh man. So I don't know if it's like really a joke. I don't even know if it's really good.
That's a bad start, bro. That's
it's like as of late, like have you ever seen like any like streamers or anything? They'll talk with us, like chat and then something. You know what I'm talking about? Like chat or
Yeah,
I don't think you get it. Or at least you don't like it. That's my latest one. I was sitting like in Teams, like in the middle of the day, I'd like chat, comment, enter, like, are we cooked? ... question mark. And I giggled. And I don't know if anybody else.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it's not a joke at all if you play video games because like everybody knows about that. But like honestly, when I come across people doing that in the real world, it makes me laugh. Like I swear you said like chat, are we cooked? I was like, bro, because like that's just a video game thing, bro. Like no normal people know about that.
Well, so I think there's one of our sales guys started. He taught me it. That's like how I learned about it Monday or something. He said like chat something. He was talking about himself. He's like chat like I have hacks on, and then like in parentheses it was like I just took my morning Adderall and finished an energy quotation mark, and I was just sitting there I was just laughing uncontrollably.
This guy's got a fucking aimbot, bro. He's like, yo, chat, bro. I got the aimbots on. He's like, pop 2 Adderall. It took like 2 reasons.
He said he had hacks on, then put in quotations that he took his morning Adderall and like drank an energy drink. I was like, this guy's locked. He onboarded some customers.
Yeah. He's ready to move some freight. All right, man. Regarding train and rail transportation, how many chuggas come before choo-choo?
6.
Fair. The real answer is 8. I think it's 4, but 6 is acceptable.
So I'm in the middle. So really, I'm closer than you on it.
Hey, man, the real answer being 8. By the time you get to 8, the train's already gone, bro.
That's true, man. We don't do a whole bunch of trains. We just do trucks here.
Yeah, we're heading into the final segment of the show. For me, I have this is my new pickup, dude.
Oh yeah, it's a good one.
Yeah, but you know what's cool about it is that I got the trailer that goes with it, bro. So we're like, yeah, we're pimping. All right, man. Heading into the final segment before we get into rapid fire, it's gonna be chicken wing choices. So regarding chicken wings, drums or flats?
Drums.
Ranch or blue cheese?
Ranch.
And breaded or non-breaded?
Breaded.
Nice. 2 for 3, bro. And I'll give you, the ranch is fine because like blue cheese is an acquired taste, so you're good, bro. You're good.
Is that the one?
I'll give you like 2 out of 2.
Yeah.
What was that?
Is that the one that was considered wrong though? The ranch over the blue cheese?
Yeah, I like blue cheese more, but I get it. Blue cheese is kind of gross if you don't like it. But all right, dude. I'm handing you over to Lev, the ex-founder of Everest, current president of Alpha SR, to run the quiz show style rapid fire.
All right, sounds like a plan.
Will, what a segment! What an hour! Lots of fun, lots of interesting stuff. So thanks for joining us. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I don't know how. I hope everyone did. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well.
So we want to get to know you from a little bit of a different side. We're going to do a quick round, 2 rounds of rapid fire. First round is a game called Either Or. You pick one first to come into your head when I'm going to give you 2 choices. And then second, we'll get to the second one in just a moment. So let me know when you're ready.
Yeah. So I'm just either or. So I'm picking 1 of 2.
1 of 2, whichever one. First thing comes to your mind, okay? You get 5 seconds. You ready?
All right.
Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla.
Blondes or brunettes?
Can I mix them? Brunettes.
Cradle to grave or Chicago model?
Cradle to grave.
Russian Hockey League or MMA?
See, that's tough. We'll go MMA.
It was a close one. I understand. Flatbed or step deck?
Flatbed.
Comedy or horror?
Comedy.
Calling or emailing?
Emailing.
Owner op or company driver?
Company driver.
Tequila or whiskey?
Tequila.
Work from home, hybrid, or in office?
In office.
Introvert or extrovert?
Extrovert.
Night owl or early bird?
Early bird.
Would you rather be a carrier rep or a dispatcher?
Dispatcher.
Kamala or Trump?
Trump.
All right, that's it. Hey, man, congratulations. You're 1 for 2. Finished the first half of the show.
All right.
Of the game show. So here's the second game. Second game is called First Thought. First thing that comes to your mind when I say a certain phrase, a word, or an expression.
Oh, boy. All right. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Favorite program to watch on TV?
The news.
Which one?
Fox.
Favorite athlete?
LeBron James.
Drink of choice?
Yerba mate.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one. I haven't.
Yo, the algorithm got you too with the mate, bro.
But
yeah, he really threw me off there. I don't know what to do now. Favorite country to outsource?
Oh shit. Philippines.
Second favorite country to outsource?
Do it.
Second favorite country to outsource?
Serbia.
Yeah. Favorite mode of transportation?
Full truckload. Flatbed.
Favorite event at the Olympics?
Basketball.
Favorite historical figure?
Ooh. Ben Franklin.
Celebrity crush?
Megan Moretti.
Interesting. That's a good one. What about favorite city? Is it Birmingham?
Yeah, it's got to be.
Okay, outside of Birmingham. I mean, that's the center of the world. That's the third Rome out there. But
man, probably Miami or New York City. I guess one or the other. Miami.
Favorite ethnic food?
Thai food.
What's your favorite meal for Thai food? Favorite dish?
I know I'm drawing a blank, man. It's just like noodles and like chicken. But they got a name for it.
Pad Thai?
Pad Thai.
Yeah, that's it.
Favorite video game?
Ooh, man, I don't play anymore, but Call of Duty back in the day. Or Apex. We went through Apex phase.
What comes to your mind when I say cold call?
Money.
Who is the most important person in freight?
Ooh. Man, I don't know. I'll say Craig Fuller. He's the first person that came to mind. I don't know if I would stand by that, but first person that came to mind.
Gotcha. Hey, man, thanks for joining us. You've succeeded 2 for 2 passed. And, we learned a lot about you that, a lot of different things that Alex hasn't covered. So I think a hell of a story, with Blackbox and yourself. So I wish you guys the best of luck. It's fantastic.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Great talking with me.
And that wraps up episode 41. Thanks for stopping by, bro.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me. I enjoyed it.
Hey, take it easy and good luck with Blackbox and 2 Dawgs, bro.
Appreciate you. Have a good one.
That's it for episode 41 of podcast with Will the Dawg Hopkins, founder of Blackbox Logistics. Have a good night, everybody.